There he is.
Zach's running the show.
Starting the show. Well, good afternoon, and welcome to Planning Commission's regular meeting of May 22nd, 2019. Would you all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Sorry, Zach, I didn't see you jumped ahead of your roll call.
Yeah, it's noted for the record we have 4 commissioners present with Commissioner McNair excused.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, moving on to C, public comments is an opportunity to address the Planning Commission on items of interest to the public that do not appear on the agenda. Comments should be limited to 3 minutes. The Commission cannot consider any issue or take action on items raised during public comment. Anyone out there have a public comment? Please come forward. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Cody Kirkham. I've lived here in town for 15 years and in the Valley since 75. And I just wanted to, it's not on the agenda. I have no qualms about the preschool. That's not my issue. It's the loop. And I wanted to talk about Shell Oil a little bit.
Okay.
And Shell Oil is, like most big companies, suspect. I never go there. I have friends who don't go there because of their policies. I have friends who don't go there because the gas they provide is not suitable for the car my friends have. But my real reason for speaking is that there are human rights abuses and definitely environmental abuses that Shell Oil is responsible for, and it has never taken responsibility. And the Niger Delta, they have had lawsuits brought against them, as well as in Argentina. They have oil coming from the Amazon, which, as we know, is not a good place to be looking for oil, since we need the Amazon. Both Amnesty International and Friends of the Earth have brought lawsuits against them, and both, or several times that they've had, no time that they've had a lawsuit brought against them have they taken responsibility. So I just wanted to put that forward, and I know it's not appropriate today. I came last night to the City Council, and I came at 5 o'clock and nobody was here, so I went home, and then I found out that you guys were going to be here today, so I showed up again.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Right. Anyone else?
Sorry?
Oh, okay. Okay. Okay, moving on to D, adoption of the meeting agenda. Do I have a motion to approve as presented?
So moved?
All in favor?
Aye.
Communication, correspondence, staff.
None to report.
Okay, great. Consent calendar, minutes of approval from April 24th. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Great, thank you. Public hearings, we're there already. Okay. Napa County Office of Education Preschool, use permit UP 2019-3 and design review DR 2019-1, consideration of a use permit and design review application to allow the construction and establishment of a preschool at 1407 North Oak Street. Staff.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Commissioners. I'm here to present to you tonight the staff report for the Napa County Office of Education's proposed preschool at 1407 North Oak. This is actually a property that's part of the Napa County Fairgrounds behind the Boys and Girls Club. What's being proposed is 2 buildings for a total of 2,900 square feet. This would be a preschool facility. These are modular buildings. This is, as I said, behind the Boys and Girls Club. And the subject site that they have arranged a long-term lease from the Napa County Fairgrounds is a little over half an acre. The 2 modular buildings would also include a central playground and courtyard area. This is a relocation from their current location over in what's eventually going to be the Vine Trail. In order to build the Vine Trail, the eventual move of the preschool, which I think has been contemplated ever since they moved into that location, has to occur. As part of this, they would have 3 preschool classes, all with staggered start and stop times. There'd be 13 off-street parking spaces. Those would be provided on-site, of course. They do have a pickup and drop-off area, and staff also believes that a large number of the attendees would probably be walked to the school by their family due to its neighborhood location. This is the type of use that the general plan and the zoning code contemplate in this area. This is the P, public, quasi-public zoning district. Because of the modular nature of the buildings, staff has encouraged the Napa County Office of Education to consider possibly talking to local artists or other groups about maybe some artwork or something to sort of jazz up the exterior. Right now I think they're mainly focused on their signage, but that's something that staff would still encourage. Some artwork would be really fun there and nice for the kids and the community. Otherwise, the color scheme is proposed. They've basically designed that to match and complement the color scheme of the Boys and Girls Club next door, which is really nice. This is categorically exempt from CEQA as new construction of a small structure or structures. And with that, staff does recommend approval of the use permit and design review. The applicant and the design team are here. I'm sure they'd be happy to come up and introduce themselves and answer any questions you may have. And with that, that concludes my staff report.
Thank you very much. Does any of the commissioners have any questions of staff at this time?
I think it's safe to say that everything will remain the same regardless of whether the sale goes through to the city. Is there any difference?
Yeah, but as far as I know, we would just be taking on that lease.
Great, thank you. Okay, this is a public hearing, so I will open it up to the public, and if the applicant would like to come forward, that would be great.
Hello, Chair Coates, Commissioners. Thank you for the opportunity to address this application. My name is Joshua Schultz. I'm Deputy Superintendent with the County Office of Education. Also have with me Alan Rossi, who's our Director of Facilities and General Services, and Tracy Rose, who is with Quattroki Architects, who we've engaged for this project. We've really appreciated for close to 20 years now the partnership we've had with the city at the current site to operate the preschool. As I think you're aware, this is a program that serves low-income families in a very high-quality program subsidized by the state of California. The opportunity we have at the new location with the county providing the lease, and again, essentially a no-cost arrangement, is to expand that offering to the community. My understanding is there's already demand for the slots that we could open up, and there's an expectation that there probably will be increasing demand with some of the developments that are happening here in the city. Unfortunately for us, funding is a challenge for these facilities. The state provides funding to operate the program. It doesn't provide any funding for the facility itself, which is part of why the design is fairly simplistic. We're trying to manage costs as best we can, and trying to actually pull together that funding is still a challenge we're working on, but we're hopeful that we can manage that. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions you have, or with the help of Alan and Tracy as well.
Thank you. Commissioners, any questions? You're all good? Oh, go ahead.
Couple of questions. The buildings as they're located, there's quite a lot of room behind the buildings to the south, towards the creek. Is there an anticipation at some point in the future that you would actually expand the facility and make it larger, or is it just that that's just going to be vacant land back there?
So I think the answer is no. There's no plans to expand the facility. We are required, everything about the way these programs are structured is prescribed by state licensing requirements for these types of facilities. Mm-hmm. So we are required to have a play area, and I don't know if that's where it's located, and maybe Tracy now can jump in.
Yeah, like the play area is between the buildings.
Right. Yeah, but other than that, no, there's no plans to expand at this time.
Well, then that leads me to my second question, which is dealing really with the aesthetics of the building, or lack thereof. The staff had recommended the potential of perhaps some artwork that could be, applied in the front of the building, and Calistoga has a very active community art program, and so one of the questions would be whether you would be receptive to something an offer coming from this city or the community to do some sort of mural. Maybe we could get Carlo to do something, but something painted some sort of painting thing
Sure.
on the front of the building. That would be one alternative. The other alternative I would throw out there is, since the location of the buildings are fairly close to the parking facility, it seems like if the buildings were, say, pushed another 10 feet or something to the south, you could do some landscaping in front of the buildings that would involve 2 or 3 trees that would make the buildings go away. And I wondered if that was also a possibility or in lieu of. So I'm throwing those 2 alternatives out just as a way to try to mitigate what is necessarily, I mean, it's a factory-built building, and it looks like it.
Right.
And so that seems like it could be 2 ways to mitigate that and make it look friendlier or more kid-like.
So, my immediate response is we're open to anything that makes the facility more aesthetically pleasing, as long as we can manage the cost, right? And that's really the key issue for us. And to be, more specific on that, so, unlike a school district, we have no authority, or a city, we have no authority to issue bonds, general obligation bonds. The state facilities program only funds K-12 facilities. The only program that the state has for preschool facilities, historically, for as long as I have been aware of the program, is a revolving loan program. There is $420,000 available per classroom. We wouldn't have funding even to repay that loan. It's a 10-year no-interest loan from the program funding, let alone the fact that the initial estimate that we got over a year ago for the project was $2.8 million. The site work, of course, being a significant component of that. So, artwork sounds wonderful. The landscaping, my question is, if we could manage the cost, yes, we would be open to those kinds of things. I think we're also very concerned at this point about, timing, because of the escalation that we've been experiencing everywhere, and wanting to try to move as quickly as we can to get things going. So within those parameters, that sound like very reasonable suggestions.
Okay, well, recognizing the concerns, and I would like to be able to at least try to pursue it with staff to see if some mechanism could be cobbled together. I don't think it would affect time. If we did something art-wise, it would obviously be a gratis to you folks. But if there's an opportunity to do something, this is the time to do it. And so I don't want to lose the opportunity. So if we could make it to do something to see where it could go, and if it doesn't go anywhere, then it doesn't go anywhere. But at least pursue with staff the potential of trying to cobble something together and see where we can as a city, contribute.
Can I ask a question? I'm not clear. Would that mean delaying the approval of
No.
the application?
No.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds very reasonable.
I believe Commissioner just wants to have a conversation ongoing through this process to see if there's an opportunity, as Commissioner Wilkes has brought forward, that might be acceptable to you, and that you're open to that.
Yeah, of
Okay.
course. Yes.
Good.
Okay.
I'm good.
Any other commissioners?
Yeah, I completely agree with Commissioner Wilkes' suggestion on landscaping. That could be very inexpensive. I'm sure we as a city could do fundraising, various groups as well. So it's just a matter of extra cost to rearrange the structures and the footprint, I guess.
We could do a GoFundMe and
Yeah.
probably come up with
I'm
the
sure our
dollars.
Rotary Club could contribute as well.
That's right.
And then I noticed that chain link fences are part of the plans. I particularly like the wood fence behind the Boys and Girls Club. Is that something that would be similar, or is that different?
So what I do know is, obviously, we are required to have fences of a certain height because of licensing, and I'm assuming that we chose chain link because it was the most cost-effective option. So, our plan is to actually put this out to bid in the very near term and try to actually get some hard numbers of what the cost would be. So, given that, if the cost differential is not prohibitive, and if the overall project is actually going to be feasible, that's certainly something that we could explore.
Yeah, I'd appreciate if you could maybe get a bid similar to the fence that is already existing compared to the one you have in plans, at least to know.
Right.
Again, we're here to support you, and I understand, obviously, how challenging it can be to raise funds for this, but, we're here just to explore it and to discuss it, and by all means, we want to encourage it and help you move forward.
I appreciate that, thank you. And I do want to just revisit my answer to your question about possible expansion in the future. It hasn't been in our plans because we do not currently have slots eligibility from the state to expand beyond what is being proposed here. I would say if those extra slots ever became available and if funding could be found to expand the facility and if the community wanted that service, we certainly would be open to exploring that at
Okay.
that time.
Good.
Great. I am a believer of education above everything. Everything. I was on the city council. I was working with your superintendent of schools at the time, and pushed very hard to get you in where you were or are.
Yes, and I understand it was challenging to find a
And
location.
it was, and I know you had the same constraints. It's always dollars, but all my children were born here, raised here, and they are all very extremely successful. And they did it because they had great preschools. You weren't here at the time. My wife actually helped establish a preschool, and it was marvelous. And for the children, every opportunity that you can give them at a preschool level will pay back dividends to not only our community, but I believe our country. So I believe, and I understand your constraints, and I truly believe that whatever it takes, you need to make it work for yourself. And I do applaud the suggestions that the commissioners have given you, if they will work. But we definitely need your preschool to be relocated and as many students as we can get into it. I am 100% behind that. I do have a question, and it has to do with, and staff may not have the answer to this, and it has to do with numbers, and maybe the architect does, and maybe I missed something, because I know the fairgrounds, and I apologize, it did not get there quick enough today. But I believe that's just a paved road that comes in, and it goes to the shop in the back, is that correct? So maybe somebody can clarify under Public Works Department, number 14, it says, prior to the project occupancy, the project's frontage, sidewalk, curb, and gutter shall be replaced where needed. Did I miss something?
Yeah, I think that's a pro forma. They got some gut in there.
You can't do that. I'm very unhappy when you get those kind of conditions that are brought forward and they don't even exist.
Yeah.
And that would be a substantial cost. And if you agree to these conditions of something that, to my knowledge, and I'll stand corrected, doesn't even exist, we have an issue that we need to look
Sidewalk is
into.
already there. That was a cut and paste, I'm sure.
Yeah, but that's not done properly from staff.
There actually was some discussion regarding this. This is a public works condition that they asked for, and there was some discussions with the architect and the applicant about these. This has to do with the actual entrance off of the street there in front of the Boys and Girls Club. It's only
But that's not a frontage to do this at all.
it's a frontage insofar as it's an entrance, an ingress part or access to this project, and that it was only half built out at the time of the Boys and Girls Club construction.
I really believe this to be an undue hardship on this group of people, and I would like it removed. I don't know what the other commissioners think, but I would like it removed.
I support that.
Okay? That's all I have. Any other comments from commissioners?
Not in public hearing.
Okay, I will close the public hearing, and we will ask for final comments from commissioners.
Oh, you have somebody.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
I truly apologize. You're here every single time, and I am... Okay, I open it up again. I apologize.
I thought your suggestions were great, and as a way of moving them forward, maybe we could make the applicants aware of the community grant programs. I don't think that those are ever offered. You have to apply for them, but they could certainly apply for them.
But the application period's still open right now.
Well, aren't they open every year?
Yes, and they happen to be open right now.
Yeah. Let's
Yeah,
let them know that those are available.
that's an excellent
Very
idea.
good suggestion. Thank you.
It's a very good
Actually
suggestion.
closes at 4:30 today,
Today?
on the 22nd.
Oh,
I just submitted mine yesterday.
But
Better
but it's
run.
ongoing, it's something that you could look
Yeah,
down the
of
road
course,
to
of course.
as well. Thank you very much. I will close the public hearing again. Commissioners?
No, it's a great catch. I mean, if potentially the savings for this could generate the funding for your two suggestions, that would be a great
Yeah.
win-win.
well,
if
I would say
possible.
that, first of all, the location is spectacular. It's geographically dead center of the city, right behind the Boys and Girls Club, which is going to have parents probably going to both places,
Right.
potentially. So that's, that's wonderful. They'll have, all those kids can look next door and have something to look forward to go to when they get a little bigger. And so that is a terrific thing. My concern aesthetically is something that I believe that everybody pulling together can be resolved. I just will try to and would like to make a condition on the approval to leave that avenue open as you go forward, not to delay your project, so that the conversation doesn't die, because this is our opportunity. If we can find a solution to that, we should do it. So other than that, it's wonderful, and it's nice to see this finally happen. We've been waiting a long time to be able to finally make that move.
Great. Any other commissioners?
Well, I'm just excited to see this, to be a part of this specific area being developed like it is. I mean, I couldn't imagine a better location for this. And just to see this part of town just start to grow up in the way it is, it's wonderful to be a part of it. So, applaud it.
Great. Thank you. I'm going to make the motion, if it's okay. I move that the Planning Commission adopt a resolution approving use permit application UP 2019-3 and design review application DR 2019-1 with the removal of Public Works Condition 14.
Okay, and could I also add to that the condition for the design team to continue to work with staff to see if we can put together some sort of aesthetic mitigation, whether it's landscaping or a mural, to be applied to the building or in front of the building.
And real quick through the chair, do you want to include fencing alternatives as part of that as well?
Yeah, because it's just to see if there is funds available, probably our first thing would be to try to upgrade away from the chain link fence. So if we could just put that on our wish list.
Okay?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Okay, moving on to, where's my sheet here? Matters initiated by commissioners.
I was reading the other day an article about, I think it's SB 50. It's moving through the state legislature that has effects on local capacity, land use decisions, that sort of thing. Has Calistoga gotten involved in that or taken a position on it?
So a couple of things to note. So SB 50 is the big housing bill. It's been working its way through the state. My understanding is it's on
been
hold
killed.
again until
Well, it's been-
2020.
It's killed for the year.
Yep.
Because the chairman of the committee won't bring it up.
Yep.
No. Yeah. It's
Anyone? Yes.
Yeah, I've been working with Mike Kern on a community enrichment grant project here with the Rotary Club, and we're looking to improve the tree wells along Lincoln Avenue. And I understand that Caltrans is not a part of that. Are there any requirements from the city or anything that we should be aware of, other than just working with Kern's department?
So the acting city manager is obviously the most knowledgeable about that. That being said, we're in the beginning stages of exploring some possible downtown beautification that would certainly go beyond trees. So we would just want to coordinate that project with that. And so both Lynn and Mike are definitely the people to talk to
Okay.
regarding that.
Good.
Can you tell me where the Vine Trail is at this point? I probably shouldn't ask the question, but
I am not the expert on the Vine Trail. My understanding is that it's moving forward in fits and starts, so.
that's about what I hear when I ask the
And we,
question
and we
again.
just approved moving a preschool, so
Cleared
it's
the
it's
deck.
that
That's
much
the
closer.
beginning.
So-
Okay,
Right.
I thought maybe there was a little more going on than that, but okay, fair enough. I think that's all we have, so Director's report.
Not the director, but I would note that we're working on a couple items for you for the first meeting in June, which I believe is on the 12th.
Okay, really good.
And I do want to thank you for including this in our packet. It was very informative, very well done.
But of course, when you're at the headwaters, you can see that you get the least stuff.
Right.
That's true, that's true. Okay, and if there's nothing else, I will ask for a motion to adjourn to June 12th.
12th.
Okay,
I move that we adjourn to June 12th.
second? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.